Hello and welcome back. In this episode, I'm going to demonstrate the product clipper, but first of all, let's get it installed. So to do so, we're going to click on our studio name in the top left corner, click on the gear icon, and go down to Apps and Extensions. You'll want to install the extension for the browser that you're using. So if you are on a Mac, but you're using Chrome, for example, you would click on the Chrome button. I will preface to say that because the Studio, as well as many apps run inside the browser, you'll want to make sure you're using a browser that regularly updates. So I'm going to click on available in the Chrome store. Now, I already have the extension installed, but if you do not, you'll see add to Chrome here. And the extension itself will look like this little roof with a chimney. Now, with Chrome, when you install it, if you click on the puzzle piece in the top right corner of your screen, you will be able to click on that, see all your extensions, and I suggest you pin it so that way the extension itself, the product clipper, will show up in your extension toolbar. Now from there, let's talk about how do we use the clipper. So I'm going to navigate over to this website here. Now, if you are on a trade website, you will need to log in to make sure that you can see your pricing. But from here, let's go ahead and let's add this chair to our studios. Now, as you probably notice, as I hover over the image, it allows me to make it larger. And I definitely recommend you do that. Not all websites are built on the same programming language and they all handle their images differently. But we want to make sure that the product clipper is grabbing the high resolution images because that's the images that are going to look the best on our FF&E schedules, our product list that we're presenting to the clients, and of course our design boards. So from here, I'm going to launch the product clipper. It's going to bring up that chair for me. And if I'm not seeing multiple images, that's okay. I'm going to show you how we can work around that. And then I'm going to go next. Now, in most cases, it will automatically pull in the product name and the vendor. You can always, of course, change this. So you're not, sharing any information probably you don't want to share. This little icon here allows me then to grab that information. So I can come over here and I'm going to clip that. The price here, you're going to indicate if it's retail or trade. Now, because I'm on this website, I consider this to be a retail website, but I get a trade discount. So I will show you how that shows up. I'm going to come down. Of course, you're going to set your currency, and then you're going to find your SKU, which on this website tends to be at the bottom. And then your categories are already pre-listed for you, but you'll need to set up your own subcategories. And so I can show you as well where to set that up because I do not have swivel chair. So we're going to set that up together. And then I'm going to come down and we're going to want to get the dimensions. Now you can move this window around. Just make sure you don't go up too high with it though, so you lose the pale blue menu at the top there that allows you to drag it. So we are going to add in the dimensions, which you will need to type in. And then I'm going to scroll up and I'm going to find out what fabric I used here. This is oatmeal. And I'm going to say, take that out. And I'm just going to put it over here. I could have clipped that too. I'm just being smart, I guess. If you don't have the vendor listed, I'm going to show you where to add that. So here you can add to project, but you do not have to. You see how it says optional? You could just be adding this to go into your product catalog. I'm going to just add this to my sample project. And then of course you'll want to grab the description if it has one. I don't know if it has a description for me. Sorry if I'm making you dizzy by, oh, product details. Here we go. And so again, just because the way this website has this typed out, I won't be able to clip it. It'll just want it one line at a time. So I kind of just grab everything that I want and I'll just paste it in. And then you can go save product. So now when we come back to our studios, the first thing that I want to do is go into projects dashboard. I added it to my sample project, which I did not. Let me go into the product catalog. First of all, I'm okay. So Perfect. I love this. So do you see how when I go edit product and I go images, that image came in very blurry? I'm going to show you a trick. So I'm going to come back to here. I'm going to make this bigger. I'm going to go right click, copy image address. This is not anything to do with the Clipper or its functionality. It's just how certain websites have their images and how it allows their images to be pulled from their website. So I'm going to come back to the Clipper. And I'm going to go select images and I'm going to upload. I'm going to turn on the URL and I'm going to paste my URL. And I can do that multiple times. If I come back here and I want it to get another image of that chair, I could do that. So let's say I want to get the backside image. I can go right click, copy image address, and come back in and paste that. And then I can go upload. And so I'm going to get rid of this blurry image and I am going to make this by clicking the star, you specify that you want this to be the primary image and I can go done. From here, you can add to a project if you want it to. You do not have to. And so let me go to my project folder here. Just bear with me. And so here I am in my project. And when you go and add an item to your project, it will automatically show up in your products and services page inside the project. It is not visible. The products and services page is not visible to clients. And when we are clipping, as of right now, when I clipped, I wasn't able to indicate my quantity. So I'm going to have to click the pencil and edit that item. And I want a pair of those. And then, of course, we will have to manually add our tax rate at this time as well. Now, my cost and my markup's not being calculated because I wasn't able to tie this chair to a vendor. So let's just jump back and go to vendors and let's add the vendor. So again, to add the vendor, I just need the name. I don't need to um, fill out anything else. And then from here, I can go in and I can set what my discount is. I can set if I'm going to do a markup on that item. And then this is a supplier, and I'm going to give it a category of furniture. You can definitely create your own subcategories, and the subcategories just allows your vendor catalog to be searchable for you. Now, in the studio, we have our own back button, which I particularly like. And so here is this chair now showing up here. And so I have the chair here and I've set my quantity and I have also seen the retail price. So of course this would say trade if it was trade. I can see, oh, let's come in and now let's edit that chair. So come over to specs and now we're going to tie that to the vendor, which we just created. And now by doing that, we will see that our cost is automatically calculated, and then we can specify if we're doing a discount or a markup or what have you to the client. And so now when I look at this item in my products and services, which is only visible to me, we have not shared this with the client yet or created a product list, I can come in and I can see my price, my cost, and the client price and the discount, and of course the tax. So that is clipping an item, adding it to a project, adding it to your product catalog. So if I wanted to use that chair in another project, in the same fabric, I wouldn't have to go out and clip it again. It now lives inside my product catalog. You also have the option to duplicate that product and you can update, the specs and the images and what have you. But personally, if I was going to do that chair in another fabric, I would probably just go out directly to the website, select the different fabric and clip it and add it back to my product catalog as a different product. So that's using the product clipper, adding an item to the products and services, and I will share with you how you can then create product list and schedules and what have you inside the products and services, and that is what you can share to give access. But otherwise, coming back to here, coming back to that product and that project, this is only visible to you. Clients cannot see all of this information. So that's important to point out. So if I wanted to add that chair to a product list to share with the client, I would, from my products and services, you can go a quick create view that will allow you to create a view for or a product list for the client. So I'm going to check product items client and I can say maybe we're working on a living room or maybe I want to create a furniture list, however you want to do that. We have three ways to display this. Personally, my favorite is card. You can set the budget for the room. So we haven't even walked through creating a project, depending on the order you're watching these videos. But you can set a budget for the living room that is outside of the scope of the overall project budget, for example. This works great if you are doing a new build or you're a design build firm and the project build is 500,000 and then you have your allocations for each room or you have your allocations for things like the materials and finishes and fixtures, for example. That's where you can put those allocations. Coming down, when I am creating and setting up these views, I don't typically use the filters. You do not want to get too granular here. I have seen where a lot of designers have set this up and their items are not allocating to the proper views. And that's because they've just over filtered. So coming down though, I will employ a tag and the tag is how I'm going to allocate what items show up in the living room as opposed to the kitchen or the dining room. And then the visibility is what you control what the client sees. So for me, I turn on, but when you turn on pricing, you'll want to turn off. I don't share what the client discount is with the client. And you'll want to make sure that you don't toggle on the vendor because that's going to share the product URL. So if you do not want your client shopping you, make sure to not turn that on. Now from here, you can go create view or you can go create and set up your own template. So I'm going to say, I'm going to call this client room view product list or client room product list. And so obviously, as I use this in the future, I will, rename this for whatever room it is. And I'd suggest that when you're creating your templates that you also date them. So then the most current one. Now you're like, Marsha, the chair is not showing up in the living room product list because we need to go back to our products and services here. And I need to tag this chair. Now I'm going to just do this individually. But in future videos, I'll show you how you can bulk tag. So if you have 50 or 100 items, how they can automatically be tagged as living room and automatically show up in your living room. So all that to say, that's the product clipper, and that is just a quick overview of how to create that product list for the client. All right, until next time, bye now.